Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, the big news of the day has to be one of the faces of boxing. We got two of them that we call the faces of boxing. That's Canelo Alvarez and Gervonta Tank Davis. Have a big following, even though they don't never fight the hardest fights. Let's be real. Let's just straight up call them. I call Gervonta Tank Davis the Black Canelo. These guys are popular, very popular, and they have what they have in common is they both basically don't fight the hardest fights in their division, right? And because of their popularity, kind of people look away from it, right? And so it is what it is. Now, as far as Gervonta Tank Davis goes, I was surprised that a black fighter could get this far, rolling like how he rolls. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing against Gervonta Tank Davis. People go as far as you let them. But if you're in the lightweight division and someone else is undisputed in your division and they still calling you the face of boxing, you're cool with that at some point. You know what I mean? Canelo Alvarez is still the face of boxing and won't, fight the hard fights. I'm just not fighting David Benavidez. I ain't fighting David Morrell. I ain't fighting Demetrius Andrade. I just ain't. So what's up? I'm gonna fight these other guys that's easier, but call them names. And so it is what it is. So it's a popularity thing. And so these guys are popular. So when you get this kind of popular and you go far and you see, how you're rolling, but people are looking away, that can mess your character up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If you do stuff, or like for example, our president right now, he's done all these crimes, and people look away from him, then don't expect this guy to have all of his marbles. Every time you do that, the screws get looser. They get looser and looser and looser, because then all of a sudden there ain't no more screws left. Because I don't have to have tight screws because I get away with everything. So it doesn't help your character to get away with things. If you're not held accountable for things that you do, your misdeeds, then at some point you're going to be out there. And so, like I say again, people go as far as you let them. Now, what does that got to do with everything? Well, Gervonta Tank Davis, as most of you people in the boxing world knows, has been accused of domestic violence again, right? I think it's his baby mama. From the little thing I read one paragraph. I didn't read him much more. Whatever. Let's see what happens if he did it or didn't. But it's a baby mama. He's supposed to have slapped her in the back of the head or something like that, right? And I don't even know more details, right? But I just know that he winds up in jail, right? So they ain't picking him up for nothing. And so let's see what happens with Gervonta Tank Davis. It happens, domestic violence. Anybody that's new, you don't know. So I'm going to tell you again, I wrote a book about domestic violence, because domestic violence is a thing that, through all walks of life, it's an issue. Everybody has it, no matter what religion, no matter what gender, mostly men though, but what gender, where you come from, what your financial situation is, rich, poor, whatever, middle class, everybody, famous, non-famous, and you would think that famous people would be like, hey, well, shoot, I could leave. And I got in my book, leaving is an option, but lots of time we don't. We get in love and something happened, your ego was hurt, and then boom, we slapping people, hitting people, stuff like that. So anyway, guys, the book is called Slapped, so you won't think I'm lying. Let me show it to you. Slapped. Slapped right there. And what you see in that red, that says more women die from the hands of a loved one than anything else. Slapped. And what does SLAP mean? SLAP, acronym for Sisters' Lives Are Prematurely Put in Danger. Now, it's at Amazon. Just go put Doma and Slapped in Amazon. Go pick that up, man. If you want to kind of, support the channel or something like that, because I'm not good at selling stuff, me or what I do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what people come here to act like they don't, but you come here, you hear the truth. It is what it is. But when I started this, YouTube did something right at the beginning that made me know don't waste too much time with this. You know what I'm saying? Because I was talking about the football, actually soccer, but football in England is what they call it. And you had a child molestation, throughout the leagues. I was talking to that bit right at the beginning, with maybe 20 to 50 subscribers at the time. And I got penalized and stuff. And y'all know I don't really, swear or curse or nothing like that. And I was like, what the hell? I got penalized. I forgot what I was penalized, but it was penalized enough at that time to be, so wait a minute. So I can't really address something that's a huge issue just because it's uncomfortable. And that stuck with me. I'm like, all right, well, whatever, because I know how I am. I'm about justice. Anybody that knows me, even private, will tell you, right? So, and that was, kind of it. So I haven't really told you guys about this book often, but here, that's what it is. Go pick it up, Slapped by Doma. And I'll read you the other side. Well, no, I won't. You know what it is. Y'all just go pick it up. But at the end of the day, Gervonta Tank Davis, I'm not surprised that this is happening again. Brother gonna have to get it together. Everybody, if you can, leaving is an option. You know, you get emotionally involved, and everybody has a different type of upbringing. If you've seen that in your home earlier, you know how it used to be. Hey man, don't piss daddy off. Daddy goes crazy if you piss him off. But make sure you don't do this. Make sure you don't do that. And everybody's scared, running around scared of daddy because daddy's gonna, freak out. And then you grow up and you think at some point, then you turn in, you daddy, and think you can do the same thing. It's a lot of reasons why it happened. And then so in this book that I got, right, I wrote it about like 10 to 12 years ago, maybe even long. I don't know. It's been a long time. And it's ludicrous. It's crazy. And it's going to get vulgar. But it's slapped because when you're unconscious about something, there's only two ways to wake a person up. Slap the living daylights out of them and they wake up, or pour some water on them. So I'm slapping you to wake you up. So yeah, it's some stuff in there because we talk about a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff where, we look away. We looking away. For example, right now, we know damn well a whole lot of stuff happened with Epstein and all these people. Right? We know the man ain't commit suicide and that they hide and stuff because there's a lot of people involved with that. Don't just think it's a Trump in them. It's a whole lot of people involved with that, and so we got to look away. Now you lift away from all the transgressions. You have all these people that domestic violence is happening a lot, right? There's not enough outrage by it, right? Because if so, the feminists would not have voted for this particular guy that's running the country because he's done everything wrong with women that you can imagine. But they look away because racism trumps everything else. But, you got a lot of stuff going on. Everybody in a position of power right now has transgressions in this area of, child molestation, domestic violence, those things right there that we can kind of correct if we just go ahead and work together here and educate. So books like this is just for that, just to wake your ass up, basically. And as far as Gervonta Tank Davis goes, brother needs a little help, but like 1 in every 5 people, keep your hands to yourself. The lady got to keep your hands to yourself. There got to be some laws that, when stuff like that goes down, penalties. If for the flip side, if ladies are lying, that nothing happened when they saying it is, got to be some penalties. So there has to be, and I think it has to be education. I say it in the book. I don't want to tell you everything, but in the book, we talk to kids about a lot of stuff at young ages. I ain't going to even get into some of the stuff I don't agree with. We talk to them at early ages about. But one of them has to be domestic violence and the fact that relationships might not go forever and prepare them, right? I say in this one chapter in here, it's called Foundation. Everyone needs a strong foundation. You learn, and the youth, because storms are coming your way. If you ain't got no foundation, then they're going to, then you know what happens if you ain't got no foundation. It get blown away, everything. But if you have a foundation, then you can stand fast, stand tight, stand strong when those storms come your way, because they're coming and you're prepared. So that's what's happening. So that's why education is very important. So let's see what happens with Gervonta Davis. Like I said, I don't have too many details. It was just to make sure you guys know that yeah, Doma done wrote a book about domestic violence, slapped, because it's an issue, and I ain't gonna even tell you why I wrote it, because if you get it, the book, in the first 2 pages, I explain why and how it happened. So y'all check that out. Let's pray for Gervonta Davis. Let's hope he ain't getting too much trouble. I'm not a big Gervonta Davis fan, but you know, he's a young man, gonna make mistakes, and let's hope he gets his get his stuff together. You know what I mean? Doma Sports Talk worldwide. Go pick it up, and I'm up out of here, y'all.